In May, the Aurora Humanitarian Initiative, in partnership with UCLA's The Promise Institute for Human Rights, held a gathering in Los Angeles as part of the Human Rights and Humanitarian Forum. This event featured a discussion between two influential figures, Dr. Noubar Afeyan, co-founder and chair of the Aurora Humanitarian Initiative and chairman of Moderna, and Dr. Esrailian, chief of the UCLA Vatche and Tamar Manoukian Division of Digestive Diseases and Aurora board member. Moderated by Raj Kumar, president and editor-in-chief of DevX, the conversation explored the roots of Aurora, the motivations of its founders, and the initiative's lasting impact on global humanitarianism.
It's been so inspirational, hearing from the laureates, hearing from the organizations that are represented around this room and beyond, and just learning more about the Aurora Humanitarian Initiative, which is part of our goal today.
Afeyan shared his personal journey, shaped by displacement and resilience, which led him to co-found the Aurora Initiative. His background and expertise as an immigrant and entrepreneur has given him a unique perspective on humanitarian work, something he says was not necessarily planned, but was a byproduct of his drive to innovate and make a difference.
And I realized that the only way you can avoid crowds is if you either go really backwards and kind of work on things that nobody wants to work on because it's already been done, or try to go forward and try to work on things that nobody is yet daring to do.
Dr. Esrailian, whose family history is also marked by survival, found that these roots guided him toward humanitarian work. He spoke about how his family story influenced his commitment to helping others.
My great-grandparents were genocide survivors, and we also have had kind of like a nomadic existence in my family. Our family story has always been told to each other. It has been central, but we were always trying to just do the best we could.
In 2015, on the centennial of the Armenian Genocide, the Aurora Initiative was born to honor this history, not through tragedy alone, but by celebrating humanity. Aurora aimed to turn the story of survival into a platform that uplifts today's humanitarians, giving them the resources to continue their life-saving work globally.
When you're a survivor, you're given a second chance. For the rest of your life, you're the product of some event that you didn't orchestrate, and yet you start all over again.
For nearly a decade, this vision of gratitude in action has driven Aurora's mission, inspiring others to see humanitarianism as a personal commitment. Esrailian noted how Aurora's values align with his own, as he reflected on the importance of acknowledging those who quietly make a difference every day.
I think some of the most remarkable people do work without any recognition in corners around the world, in villages, in orphanages, in food banks, and soup kitchens.
He further explained that one of the powerful aspects of Aurora's approach is the focus on gratitude and recognition, giving visibility to unsung heroes and inspiring others to follow in their footsteps.
One thing I love about the initiative is just highlighting individuals and then hopefully not only helping their organizations and the people they work with, but I think hopefully inspiring people.
Despite the countless humanitarian crises, including Azerbaijan's ongoing illegal detention of dozens of prisoners of war from Artsakh, including one of the co-founders of the Aurora Humanitarian Initiative, Ruben Vartanyan, Esrailian remains hopeful. He believes in cautious optimism and that highlighting the stories of incredible individuals like the Aurora Prize laureates can inspire others to become future decision-makers and advocates for change.
I think about the Armenians now when I think about Ruben and the victims of Artsakh and the leaders that are responsible for a lot of these behaviors. You know that they're not going to last forever, and Armenians have been resilient over centuries.
Afeyan, drawing from his experience as an innovator, emphasized the importance of a mindset he calls paranoid optimism, which balances hope with the constant reevaluation of assumptions.
You have to be optimistic enough not to give up and to believe you can do things that nobody else believes you can, and you have to be paranoid enough not to think that you actually can, and that you kind of constantly check the assumptions.
An important aspect of the Aurora Humanitarian Initiative's approach is the re-granting process, where laureates allocate much of their award to smaller organizations working on the ground. Afeyan explained that this strategy is similar to a startup model where smaller, innovative players, or insurgents, challenge and complement larger institutions.
You need insurgents who are actually coming up with new models, new attempts, and we need to empower them. And that entrepreneurial humanitarianism, if I can call it that, I think is a very interesting concept.
Imagine if the best and the brightest made a decision, not necessarily to work for an NGO, which is still admirable, but to basically dedicate their lives and a portion of their lives of everything they do with this concept. It would actually change the world.
Esrailian pointed out the need to redefine who we look up to as role models, suggesting that humanitarians should be seen as the influencers who inspire younger generations.
We don't want these humanitarians to be the best kept secret in the world.
Afeyan highlighted that anyone, regardless of their background, can integrate humanitarianism into their life and career. He urged people to see humanitarian work as an extension of their own identities, no matter what they do as a profession.
Everybody in the room can be two things. You don't have to be one thing. Whatever you are, you can be a construction worker and humanitarian. And
Yeah.
so
I would say
think
be
that would
more
be
than
great.
two, even. You know,
As the conversation concluded, Raj Kumar reflected on the vision and passion behind the Aurora Humanitarian Initiative. Through the insights shared by Afeyan and Esrailian, the audience gained a deeper understanding of the values that fuel Aurora's efforts to uplift humanitarians and inspire collective action.
I hope you've had a chance to really understand who's behind it and the work and the spirit that comes behind it. And it's been really an honor to get to spend some time with both of you.
Thank you.
Noubar Afeyan.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you, everybody. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.